Hello, so I'm going to show how the feeder setup goes on the newest Panda Placer machine. The first thing that I would like to point out is you need the header set up here, set up correctly. So the first one will have none. The second one over here will have the jumper in the 1 position. The third one here will have the jumper in the 2 position. And then the third one will have, I believe, actually 2 jumpers, which would be 2 and 1. But you can actually read under here. So 3 is, 2 and 1. It's actually on the silk screen. I don't have this one. This one was fried on delivery. I'm hoping Leo sends me a replacement. Shipping, I'm sure, from China is not an easy process. So there were 2 points I was seeing that wanted to be covered. Was 1, how do I set up a servo? So the first thing I do is we're going to plug this in over here. And then we can look over here and we can see, if this focuses, brown is on this side. So I'm looking at, on the machine, over here. So I simply just go here, plug this in, and then I got to figure out what port value this is. So that's port 12, and we are 0, because those are 0, 1, 2. So this will be 212. So I can go over here and I can go feeders. I can go add a feeder. Oop, hold on, the touch screen is not great for that bit. Accept. And then, so I have it as a bamboo feeder. And then I go down here and I go feeder, auto feeder, okay. And then the step I want. So I'm just going to do a 4mm step to set the feeder where it should be. Let's make sure that this matches. So if I go to this one has an 8mm step, but you see auto feeder, okay. Auto feeder, 8mm advance. And then in here's the value of the location. So as I was saying, that one is 212. So I just do 212. 212. We got to apply things. And then I just press test post pick. And I'm going to try and set this up so that it's recorded. You can see that it shifts. And what happens when you do that is you are calibrating where the position is. So by doing a 4mm feed instead of the 2mm feed, I think the 2mm feed would give you potentially problems. I know that when I slot on my push rod, this push rod, onto my feeder, I can just set it as if it's straight. And then it should work fine from there. Apologies for the noise in the background, that's just a UV printer. So that's set up. And then that shows you how to do the fiducial setup. If you're having issues with this not working on, say, like this feeder bank, bring it over to another one and figure out what's working and what's not. As I said, I had an issue with this feeder unit, and it crashed to the point that the machine wouldn't turn on unless I had it unplugged. And it took a while to figure out which one it was. What I was noticing is if I unplug the 24-volt power supply to these, that I had things turn on. And technically, there's a little, I believe this LED light is the 24-volt LED light. This was pulsing, and that's how I knew that I had a 24-volt power issue. But that should give you a simple rundown. Really quick, you just add a bamboo feeder. You go down to here, you set the auto feeder okay and the auto feeder advanced. This is the button you will use to trigger a feed action. And it's done this way as a post pick because this machine is running asynchronous, and having it here prevents the asynchronous system running into each other. So like on my feeders here, I actually have to run the machine at a slower speed because this feeder can't feed fast enough to keep up with sequential pulling from it. And because there isn't a way in OpenPNP that I know of to have like 2 of these and have it alternate between, that's the only real solution I've found, is just to slow down the machine. Hopefully better feeders will fix that. Alrighty, I hope this shows how to set this up. If you're having any more problems with setting that up, let me know. I run most of my work on the older machine. I am transitioning from this machine to this machine because this is, with asynchronous, this is faster. If this had asynchronous feeding, this would absolutely probably be faster. I think the motion system on this can actually move a little faster than this, but this is running the old stepper motor drivers that were socketable and everything else. Anywho, good luck. Let me know if you have any more questions. If you want a auto-calibrating rig that actually fits and has these centered to where like it's doable, the original Nicky Does, I think was his YouTube channel, unit doesn't fit, so I just recreated it in Fusion 360 with the movement done. I can post that. I'd love to do a video on the Vision auto calibration setup. I'm just not there yet. I've got other things to do, and it's really freaking hard to light and get good recording. All right, bye.